I'm going to show you how to find $100,000 that's already inside your business without one more truck, one more tech, or one more dollar of ad spend. By the end of this presentation, you'll know exactly where it is, why you've never seen it, and how to get it out. Stay with me. This is going to be some of the most valuable time you've spent on your business in years. By the way, I'm Sean Deegan, founder of Guardian Business Coaching. I'm a business owner and coach, a retired U.S. Navy senior chief, and a former deputy sheriff. But probably more important for what we're talking about today, I've been the guy running the home service business. I've dealt with the trucks, the schedules, the customers, the payroll, and wondering why a business that looked successful on paper wasn't producing the life I thought it would. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But first, quickly, who is this for? This is for the owner of a home service or trades business. Plumbing, HVAC, roofing, electrical, home inspection, restoration, anything where you've got trucks, crews, and customers on a schedule. You're doing real revenue, at least $500,000 a year, and you've built something real. If that's you, you're in the right place. If you haven't built anything yet, this isn't for you, and I want to be honest about that up front. So here's what we're going to do. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 3 things most home service owners never figure out. By the time we're done, you'll know why your busiest year may have been your tightest, where the money is hiding, and the 12-area sweep that finds it. No theory. I built my own business with this. I sold it. My son runs it now, and I'm going to show you what I did and what we're doing with business owners right now. But before I get to any of that, let me tell you how I got here. For nearly 3 decades, I served in the United States Navy, both active duty and reserve. During that same time, I also had a career in law enforcement. I retired as a U.S. Navy senior chief and as a detective with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. After retiring from both careers, I built a home inspection business. I had my wife Stacy, our daughter Madeline, my older son Michael, and a business that was growing every year, at least on paper. I was doing everything right, and none of it was working. A couple years ago, I'm standing in the middle of my living room, dripping wet, covered in soap, and wrapped in a towel. I'd been in the shower when my phone started ringing on the bathroom sink. And in my world, home inspections, a ringing phone meant money. So I did what any hustling entrepreneur would do. I jumped out of the shower, wrapped a towel around myself, and ran across the house to my desk, just to book the job. I sat down, soaking wet, looked at my calendar, and realized I had nowhere to put it. I was already working 6 or 7 days a week, 12 plus hours a day. I stood up and wandered into the middle of the living room, phone in my hand, Stacy looking at me like I'd completely lost my mind. Something hit me. I wasn't missing money. I was missing my life. And then there was another moment that hit even harder. I don't think I've ever told this part out loud before. Stacy woke me up in my recliner. I'd just passed out again after a 14-hour day. Madeline was asleep. Stacy didn't say anything for a while. Then she said, "I'm not angry at you. I'm tired of waiting for you to come back from a job you never actually leave." Then she told me what was really hurting her. I was missing things with Madeline. Dance recitals, swimming with Daddy, shooting bows and arrows in the backyard, reading bedtime stories. I sat there for a while because she was right. I had built this business to give them a life, and the business was the thing eating the life. Then one night, I found myself sitting at the kitchen table late, looking at the numbers, and it felt like every dollar had already been spoken for before it ever hit the account. Payroll, trucks, software, insurance, callbacks, wasted time, little discounts, missed follow-ups, all the small things that never looked dangerous by themselves. And that's when it hit me. The problem wasn't that the business needed more activity. The problem was that the business was eating its own profit before I ever got to see it. And that's when I found my mentor. Not a guy who read a few books and charged me every month to repeat YouTube at me. Not a guru with a rented Lamborghini and a podcast mic. I had no interest in any of that. This was a retired Army colonel, a guy who had actually been there. He'd built something, and he'd discovered a better way to look at a business. We jumped on a Zoom call. I remember it like it was yesterday. He didn't ask me about revenue. He didn't ask me how many inspections I was doing. He asked me one question. When's the last time you took Stacy on a date and didn't bring your phone? I couldn't answer him. And he said, that's where we start. He walked me through a framework, 12 profit acceleration modules that I now call the 8th day framework. Not theory, not motivation, a playbook. 12 areas of the business, run in sequence because they compound. And here's what's important. We didn't add a single truck. We didn't add a single inspector. We didn't run a new ad. We went through all 12 areas, and we found profit that had been hiding in plain sight the entire time. Same monthly revenue, same trucks, same crews, same territory, but a completely different business, and eventually, a completely different life. I had a good team. What I didn't have was a system that allowed that team to run without me standing over their shoulder. We found significant hidden profit inside my own business. No new customers, no new trucks, no new ads. And remember, I had been doing everything I knew how. But now the business could operate without me sitting in every seat. That's when I knew it was ready. This is me and my son, Michael. When I started that business, I was building it for one reason, to give my family a life and me more freedom. But somewhere along the way, the business became the thing standing between me and that life. The framework didn't just give me back my time, it gave me the ability to hand this business to Michael without handing him a prison. Michael runs Win Home Inspection today, and he doesn't run it the way I did. He doesn't have to live those 14-hour days. He doesn't have to eat the leftovers at the end of every month. Because we built systems that hold, whether I'm standing there or not. And now there's my granddaughter. She'll never know her grandfather is the guy who fell asleep in his recliner because he had one more inspection to finish. She'll know me as the guy who built something real and then handed it to her dad clean. That's what transformation actually buys you. Not just a number on a screen, a legacy your family can stand on without you holding it up every minute of every day. But I also want to be honest about what it cost me to learn that lesson. Here's what I missed while I was building the business. Madeline's dance recitals, shooting bows and arrows in the backyard with her on Saturday mornings, family movie nights where I'd fall asleep in my chair before the opening credits were finished, bedtime stories, tucking her in. And there was my marriage. Stacy and I had no time together. Date nights were canceled because of last-minute inspection requests. Vacations were impossible. The sad truth was, I wasn't gone on a training trip. I wasn't deployed overseas. I was 10 feet away, at my desk, on my laptop, booking one more inspection because I told myself that's what a good provider does. She was growing up. We were growing apart while I was building something else. But here's what I learned. Profit creates options. Today, Stacy and I have regular date nights. Our relationship is stronger than ever, and we finally took the trip we delayed countless times. We sat on the deck of a Mediterranean cruise ship and asked a question we hadn't really been able to ask at home. What do we actually want the next chapter of our life to look like? That trip became the launch pad. We're moving to Italy. And years ago, a Navy chief taught me one word that has stuck with me ever since. Payback. Remember where you came from. Remember who helped you get there. And pay it back. Every single day. That's why I do this. This framework gave me back my family. And now, I teach it to owners like you. That brings me to the big domino. The opportunity in your business right now is not growth. The opportunity is profit. Most owners hear that and immediately push back because growth feels like the obvious answer. More customers, more jobs, more trucks, more revenue. But if your business is leaking money, growth just puts more pressure on the leaks. Think about a bucket with holes in it. You don't need to keep pouring more water into the bucket. You patch the holes first. And once you've patched the holes, then growth becomes a very different conversation. So why do so many good business owners miss this? Because we've been trained to watch the top line. Revenue is easy to see. A full schedule is easy to see. More calls, more jobs, more trucks. That feels like winning. But the leaks are quieter. They hide in the little discount you didn't need to give, the job that should have been bundled, the customer who would have paid more, the follow-up that never happened, the team member who's unclear about what they're responsible for and what sets you apart, and the owner who's still carrying too much of the business personally. Those things don't announce themselves, and that's exactly why they're so easy to miss. Which brings us to secret number 1. Stop eating leftovers. This is what most owners do without even realizing it. The business eats first. The vendors eat. Payroll eats. Software eats. The trucks eat. The emergencies eat. And at the end of the month, the owner looks around and asks, "What is left for me?" That's backwards. A real business should produce owner pay and profit on purpose, not by accident, and not after everyone else has been fed. And that's what I call the leftover trap. You have a good month, you're busy, the deposits are coming in, everything looks great. Then the bills hit, the expenses hit, the surprises hit, and somehow the month that looked so strong still feels tight. And when everything else is eaten, what's left for the owner? Sometimes, nothing. That's not a revenue problem first. That's a profit design problem. Profit has to be designed into the business. Owner pay shouldn't be an afterthought. True profit shouldn't be something you just hope is there at the end of the month. And cash reserves shouldn't depend on whether you happen to have a good week. Because when those things aren't built into the operating model, guess who becomes the shock absorber for every weak spot in the company? You do, the owner. So here's the first shift I want you to make. Stop asking, "What's left?" and start asking, "Where is it leaking?" That question changes everything. Because now you're not sitting at the end of the month hoping there's something left. You're looking at the business like a diagnostic. You're looking for the exact places where money is already being earned but isn't being captured. Don't ask what's left. Ask where it's leaking. Secret number 2. Growth is the amplifier. Growth does not automatically fix a business. Growth amplifies whatever is already true. If the model is clean, growth can be beautiful. But if the model is messy, growth can make the mess a whole lot more expensive. And that's why more revenue can actually make things worse. More jobs can mean more payroll, more scheduling pressure, more callbacks, more cash demands, and more stress on the owner. I've seen business owners have their biggest revenue year ever and somehow feel broker than ever. Think about that. More revenue came through the business, but the owner felt like he had less money. That's not because he's a bad business owner. It's because growth magnified the leaks that were already there. And this is where we have to separate two things that business owners often treat as the same. Busy is not the same as profitable. A full calendar can hide weak pricing. A ringing phone can hide a weak offer. More customers can hide poor systems. And a growing team can hide the fact that the owner is still carrying way too much. Activity can hide weakness. And if you're judging the health of your business by how busy everybody is, you can feel incredibly successful while profit is disappearing underneath the surface. So here's the growth rule I want you to remember. Fix the leaks before you turn up the pressure. Because once you do that, growth becomes powerful. Every new customer becomes more valuable. Every crew hour becomes more productive. Every marketing dollar works harder. And the business is finally positioned to keep more of what it earns. So I'm not telling you not to grow. I'm telling you to fix the business first so that when you do grow, the growth actually makes you more profitable. Which brings us to secret number 3. Use the 12-area sweep. Hidden profit is rarely sitting in one obvious place. It's usually spread across the business, a little here, a little there, and another opportunity somewhere you probably haven't looked in a long time. That's why a real diagnostic can't just look at marketing or expenses or pricing in isolation. You have to sweep the whole operating model. So here are the 12 areas we look at. Number one, cut costs. Reduce unnecessary expenses without hurting the customer experience. Number two, market dominating position. Give customers a clear reason to choose you instead of your competition. Number three, compelling offer. Make it easier for the right customer to say yes. Number four, increase prices. Improve the margin you earn from every sale. Number five, upsell and cross-sell. Increase the value of each customer by offering the right next service. Number six, bundling. Combine services in a way that increases value for the customer and revenue for the business. Number seven, downsell. Save opportunities that might otherwise walk away completely. Number eight, additional products and services. Create new revenue streams from customers you already know how to serve. Number nine, alliances and joint ventures. Leverage trusted partners to create opportunities neither business would have alone. Number 10, drip campaigns. Follow up automatically so leads and customers don't simply disappear. Number 11, lead generation. Create more qualified opportunities for the business to convert. And number 12, digital marketing. Improve how people find, understand, and choose your business online. Now, most owners have worked on some of these. Maybe you've cut expenses. Maybe you've raised prices. Maybe you've worked on marketing. But most owners have never looked at all 12 together. They fix one thing, then wonder why the business still feels tight. The power is in the sweep, because one improvement can make the next improvement more valuable. And that's where the compounding starts. Let me show you what this looks like with a real owner I'm working with right now. His name is David. David owns a roofing business. He's successful. He knows his trade. And like most good business owners, he's very close to the business. We're working through these areas piece by piece. And I want to be clear, I'm not showing you David because I'm about to give you some giant before and after number. We're early in the process. I'm showing you David because he demonstrates something important. You don't need to have a broken business to have hidden profit. Sometimes you're simply too close to the business to see what's hiding in plain sight, and what you need is a different set of eyes looking across the whole model. So, what do you do next? You don't guess, you don't throw more ads at the wall, and you don't hire somebody just because you're tired and hoping another set of hands will fix the problem. You run the diagnostic. You identify where the hidden profit is. You identify what's leaking. And then you figure out which fixes should happen first. That's exactly why I created the Profit Accelerator Diagnostic. The Profit Accelerator Diagnostic is a focused 45-minute working session with me. And I want to emphasize the words working session. We're not going to casually chat about your business. We're not going to spend 45 minutes talking in circles. We're going to look for hidden profit. We'll walk through the key areas of your business, identify the strongest opportunities, and map out the first moves that can help you start recovering money. So let me show you exactly what's included. You'll get a 45-minute working session with me, a full JS12 style diagnostic, a written profit report that summarizes what we uncover, an implementation schedule so you know what to tackle first, an ROI calculator to help put real numbers against the opportunities, and email follow-up after the session. The goal is clarity. When you leave, you should know where the strongest profit opportunities are, where we need to look first, and what needs to happen next. Now, let me show you what all of that actually includes. So let me show you exactly what you're going to get when you book your Profit Accelerator Diagnostic. First, you're going to get 45 minutes working directly with me. This isn't a discovery call. We're not going to spend 45 minutes talking about whether coaching might be right for you. We're going to work on your business. We're going to look at where the money is going, where the opportunities are, and where we should look first. For direct access to me and that level of business analysis, I value that at $1,500. But that's not all. You're also getting the full diagnostic process. We're going to use the same framework I've been showing you today to look across the business. Instead of guessing at one problem, that diagnostic process is worth $2,500. So already, you're getting the 45-minute working session with me and the full diagnostic process. But I don't want you leaving the call with a bunch of notes, trying to remember everything we talked about. So I'm also going to give you a complete written profit report. It will capture what we found, where the opportunities are, and what deserves your attention. I value that report at $997. And we're still not done. Because knowing what to fix isn't enough. You need to know what to do first. So you'll also receive an implementation schedule that helps organize the opportunities into a practical sequence. That's worth another $1,500. Now you've got the diagnostic, you've got the written report, you've got the implementation plan, but there's still one question every business owner should ask. What is this actually worth to me? So I'm including an ROI calculator to help you put real numbers against the opportunities we uncover. That's another $497 value. And finally, I'm not going to finish the call, send you on your way, and disappear. You'll also have email follow-up with me after the session for questions related to what we uncovered. I value that at $350. So when you put everything together, you have the 45-minute working session with me, the full diagnostic, your written profit report, your implementation schedule, the ROI calculator, and follow-up with me afterward. If you separated all of those pieces, we're talking about $7,344 in total value. Now, am I telling you that I normally charge somebody $7,344 for a 45-minute call? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm showing you is the value of everything we're actually doing together. And I don't want $7,344 to be the barrier that keeps the right business owner from finding out what's already sitting inside their business. You're not going to invest $7,344. You're not going to invest $5,000. You're not even going to invest $2,500. Today, the entire Profit Accelerator diagnostic is $497. That's it. 45 minutes with me, a full diagnostic, a written profit report, a clear implementation path. And where there is hidden profit sitting inside your business, we're going to go looking for it together. And I want to take the risk out of this for you. I believe this diagnostic should at least pay for itself. So here's my guarantee. If we go through your business together and cannot identify at least $497 in legitimate profit opportunities, I will refund your $497. Simple as that. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to make $100,000. I'm not going to make some ridiculous promise about what happens after the call, because ultimately, you still have to implement what we find. What I am willing to stand behind is the work we do together. If I can't show you at least enough legitimate opportunity to cover the cost of the diagnostic, you shouldn't have to pay for it. That's the Profit Guardian guarantee. That puts the risk on me, not you. Now, this isn't for everybody. If you're looking for a magic wand, if you're not willing to look honestly at the numbers, or you're not ready to actually do something with what we uncover, don't book this. But if you've built a real business, you're doing at least $500,000 a year, and you're sitting there thinking, I know we should be keeping more of what we're earning. This is exactly who I built the diagnostic for. And here's exactly what happens when you book. First, you'll answer a few questions so I can understand your business before we meet. Second, you'll pick a time that works for you. Third, you show up on a Zoom call ready to work. That's it. We're not going to spend the first half of the call figuring out what you do. I'll already have the basic information in front of me, so when we get on the call, we can use those 45 minutes to look for the strongest profit opportunities and figure out what deserves your attention first. And I want to be really clear about something. This is not a sales call disguised as help. This is a working diagnostic. We're going to roll up our sleeves, look at the business, and go searching for the profit you've already earned. Before we finish, I want you to remember something. Your business has already done the hard part. The phone rang. Your team showed up. The work got done. Your customers paid you. The question is, how much of that money are you actually keeping? Because hidden profit isn't theoretical. It's money your business has already earned, but isn't capturing. And you don't necessarily need more customers to find it. You need to know where to look. So if you're ready to find out, click the button below this video and book your Profit Accelerator Diagnostic. We'll spend 45 minutes together looking for the profit that's already hiding inside your business. And remember, you're protected by the Profit Guardian Guarantee. If I can't identify at least $497 in legitimate profit opportunities, I'll refund your $497. You've already earned the money. Now let's go find it.